excited about the energies this year. We've got so many incredible culmination of changes, and it's almost as if everything we've been doing for the last 5 years has led to this moment. Astrologically, I do understand that some of these are longer, they're 35 years in the making, some of the plans and patterns that we are unwinding. But for us and what we're focusing on today, I'm talking about the energy. So this last year especially has been challenging for so many reasons, and that is because we have been asked to put down all of the karma and patterns that we have managed our life through so far. And it means that we don't need to take them with us, but there's another version. Now, some of the highlights for the energy of the year are going to include the fact that with the old way of doing things and the old systems and structures being shifted or removed or corrected into a much more intuitive space, we no longer have the compass that we thought we were following, which was to do what we were told. Now, more than ever, it's going to be so fundamental that we are checking everything against ourselves. How do you feel about people in front of you? How do you feel about decisions in front of you? And whether it's food or politics or family or scheduling, career, love, wherever you're moving on this, you must check with you, because you become your compass. This year, and for the rest of our lives, we're going to be very intuitively guided, and there are so many ways that you can do this and learn this and extend this. I have books, many other people have books, we all do seminars that help you extend it, help you recognize those feelings and move them forward. So feel free to access those, feel free to use any of those tools. But what I would like to share with you today is one of my most prevalent tools, and it's that testing it with you. How do you feel about this right now? So in my practice, I tend to take between half an hour to an hour a day where I sit and contemplate. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, and I know that sounds like a luxury, but it's something I've structured my life around to gain, because in those contemplation moments I find so much truth. Whether I'm sitting and feeling my body, am I tight, am I tense, am I strong, am I weak? Do I feel like there's nutrients missing? Do I feel like I need hugs? Do I feel like I need space? Paying attention to what's going on in something as simple as your body allows you to plan your day and your week more in tune with your own needs. Now, it may be that I've got a series of events as you would have. We've got customers, we've got family, we've got work commitments, life. And looking at how my body's reacting to my day, I may go, well, actually, my energy's dropping when I'm thinking about that appointment or that chore I need to be doing. So what I can do is tell myself the truth. Clearly, I'm not wanting to do it, or I'm not sure if it's there to support me or it's going to cost me. So telling yourself the truth, you stop resisting the energy, which creates its own magnification, and at least you can then move forward knowing that you didn't like what you were doing. When you state your purpose, of course, you know that your guides then can do something to change that in the future. When you are permissive and you are saying, it's absolutely fine, I don't mind because of da-da-da, they're not going to help you change anything, because they're not allowed to interfere without your permission. They support you, and they will support you in whatever format you want to stay in as well. And so when we are telling ourselves the truth, and when we are going, I want to do this, I don't want to do that, I like this, I don't like that, we are focusing on what's actually going on, and it manifests more, of course, which is fabulous, but also it allows us to deal with what's going to come up with us. So sometimes when I have an idea that I'm looking at my day, I'm looking at my energy, and I kind of get to about midday and the energy drops. And it's not hard to do. I really just can't stop and think about my energy and notice any highs and lows in my body. So I'm going 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something feels bad in my tummy. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, oh, something's gorgeous there. So when there's a dip, what I do is I simply send healing in advance, like popping white light into a timeline, so that whatever's going on there, I've got ready support. I'm reminded to ask my guides for support which you always forget in times of stress, like taking your vitamins when you're already sick. We've forgotten already. And this way, I not only have an idea of where my day's going, but I can pre-manage it. And when I get there, and there are lows because we have blood pressure, we have busyness, we have other events going on, then I have already put the energy package in place so that I feel supported, and I tend to have an incredibly successful day when I am contemplating the energy of my day and putting something in place. The other contemplations that, if you've been with me for a while, you'll hear me go on about manifestation. It's based on how you want to feel in a situation. And for me, I always try and do in 5 years' time, in the best possible version, I want to feel like, or I want to have felt that my last 5 years was like. This is a really nice way to work out what you really think about something, rather than what you've been told to think about something. So if you were saying, in 5 years' time, in the best possible version, I want to come home and I want my home to feel cozy, and yet you've been house shopping for a house that's bright and open and huge, immediately you understand that you're not going to be happy in the large gaping home. You need to be in something comfortable. You can do it with furniture. How do I feel sitting in this armchair? How do I feel in this armchair? Not just, yep, it's comfortable on my back, I feel supported, but actually, how do I feel? Hate the colour, makes me sad. Don't buy it. Or put a throw on it. These are not expensive choices. These are just listening to your body. Does your energy increase? Are you happy? Are you feeling good? This is a positive. This is the way your intuition shows in your body. There are different skill sets, obviously, as you develop your intuition, your clairvoyance, your second sight. All of those come into play a lot more. And you will find in time that you get these clues, you get sentences, you get ideas much faster. But just starting with the contemplation, spending your time in what do I really think and what is going on in my body when we're looking at this will give you so much support and information. The thing that will help throughout this year is that testing. Energy up, feel good, it's probably good for you, I'm excited, or it's healthy. Energy down, there's something that you need to change so that it's not costing you so much. For meeting with people, if your energy decreases, you may just rearrange how you meet them. It may be that they stay too long, so you meet outside of the house. It may be that your energy increases and you want to spend more time with them. So you can just say that to them. And you will be amazed that the people who increase your energy often feel the same way, because you're part of that soul tribe, and it's nice to see each other and to spend time with people that you can say what comes across your mind and not feel that they're going to judge you or find it unusual. Our tribe tend to have the same wavelength. They tend to have very similar communication styles sometimes. Most times, I think. The sense of humour seems to be where intuition helps us merge in a really safe and comfortable way. So the other thing about this year is that 2020 is a decade. So this is the beginning of a decade which is all about clarity. Our intuition, what's really going on, and what is good for our planet. Starts very, very small. What's good for us in our home with our family? How are we in and amongst our community? And how are we looking after each other? Not to the detriment of ourselves. Respect and honouring ourselves in our support, in our self-care, so that we're able to help other people or recognise their needs and point them in a direction that they need support, or ask them to go and get help. Or there are so many different ways that we can support people without it depleting us, because when you think about even helping somebody, if your energy increases, this is part of your soul contract. This is something that is for them and for you that will be successful. If your energy decreases, you may find that you're perpetrating their victim mode, you're making their story and yours take longer, or there may be somebody else in the wings that's actually destined to do the helping, and that builds both of their stories into that higher vibration. So not helping somebody isn't a bad thing if you've checked with your energy. Just like helping somebody is not always a good thing unless you've checked your energy. So this year is also about putting down anything that doesn't serve us. And you may have witness to this in the environment around you. You're going to see a lot of things, I think, in the world, and they can be small. They can be, the bees are back. They can be, we now no longer use pesticides. It may be that the world's going to go organic. We'll see we're moving from the little to the big here. It may be that the entire world decides we need more sleep, and the noise of traffic and people at night diminishes. So it will be strange little things. It will also be universal political events, obviously, where the way that things have worked in the past will no longer sustain where we're headed, because they were not done in consideration of what everybody actually needs. They were done in that much more top-down leadership. I will tell you what you need, and then that's what you need. And that no longer applies. So we will see a lot of systems that need to be overhauled. And one of the best examples that I can give you is our medical system, our hospitals, and how what I would call very westernized or very organized as they needed to be. But the regimentation that's come into that has meant that what is right and good cannot always be included. And so I'm seeing so many things now where Reiki is coming into hospitals, where natural healing is coming back in, not as, fine, you get to make choices about what's in the background, but this is working for people, and why wouldn't that be an option alongside very expensive drug options or long-term consequences of surgery and chemicals that may be necessary but may not be in some cases. The piece about self-care is going to be a really important and beautiful topic. I often say when we first got the missive about self-care, we failed miserably. You know, so many people would book a massage once a year, or, you know, rest, take a holiday for 3 days, but work from their holidays, or take the family with them. And there wasn't anything wrong with that, except that there were no places in amongst that for that contemplation of, what do you really need right now? I'm tired, I need to rest, I'm thirsty, did I know that? How many times do we have a craving for something when really it's dehydration? So there are going to be so many amazing shifts in our priorities and our ability to look after each other and ourselves, because to honour ourselves makes us fit for purpose of honouring other people. So we're finally going to get that, I believe. We're finally going to understand that we are supposed to listen to ourselves. We are supposed to care about ourselves so that we feel loved, so that we can love. And it's going to be beautiful. The learning will be as easy or as difficult as you want it to be. If you get on board with the checking of yourself, the intuition checks, I think it's going to be so much smoother for everybody. If you are waiting for the bus to change directions for you, that tends to be a bit more of an abrupt corner. And I don't think that we have to have the difficulties that historically we have used to make great changes. It can simply be that an acceptance, whatever I believe, I believe. Whatever you believe, you believe. And neither of them are wrong, and neither of them can be each other's. So as soon as we move into that acceptance of our value, of your value, of our right to an opinion, of your right to an opinion, and your right to check with yourself and another person's right to check with themselves about what's right for them, not what is right according to the doctrine of, or right because mum and dad said, or right because that's how the school system works. We are now moving into what's actually going to build and support our community, our societies, our world. And the old hindrances of secrets and duplicity and politics that are political rather than creating solutions, they they simply aren't going to have the energy that they've always had. It's like the balloon has deflated under the stage and they get on top of their soapbox to dictate or to control or to lead with fear or examples we can't possibly meet. And the balloon deflates and the soapbox falls and the air is gone and we stop listening to other people's versions of how we should be. Self-responsibility means that we are going to have to do a good job. We go to work, we look after our children, we look after our elderly, we want to be paying attention to our neighbours when they are okay, when they are not okay. So this is not about ignoring rules or society for the sake of it. It's about making sure they grow into something better. And I see so many beautiful highlights in this 2020 when I'm doing the same thing with that energy contemplation. When I'm looking at the year and we have this amazing January energy, we've got all sorts of lovely little eclipses and energy through the astrology. We've got events coming up, and then this amazing view I have of all of the work we've done coming back in, so that by the middle of the year we have this wonderful upturn in energy. And for me, I believe that's going to be about your love, your career, your choices that you have made over the last 2 or 3 years, your wishes and manifestations coming to fruition within the yeses and nos that you've allowed this year. And then by the middle of the year, shifting again into a better version. And so we have the opportunity this year to really meet our dreams head on. And to do that, you tell yourself the truth. If you are not happy with your job, why? Which pieces don't you like? Which pieces do you like? Spend your energy on how you want to feel, how you would like that to look. Do your contemplation exercises or manifestation time and go through your body. Do you want to work 5 hours a week? Do you want to work in an office? Do you want to work outdoors? What's your body doing? Does that get exciting? Do you want to do more of that? What feels good? And then move your energy there. Look for jobs like that. Shift it into those arenas. So you're not permissive of things that don't work for you, but you're not spending your energy ruminating and sitting in that difficult, hard, negative energy about what you don't like. You're spending it on what you're creating that you would like. And I just think that by the end of the year, we're going to be on a new path. We're going to be not only as a society, but I really believe that so many people as individuals will feel strong and empowered and safe to be who they are and to really celebrate who they are, so we can celebrate the people around us being themselves. And we just have the most amazing opportunity to have that. Yes, there will be change. There is always change. Yes, there is an evolution of things ending in new beginnings. That is the way of nature. What we have finished with becomes the earth and the soil that builds the next plant. And so there's nothing unnatural about the processes we're moving through. And for me, obviously, I am a clairvoyant, I am a medium, I work in spiritual energy, and every part of my body reacts very strongly to these. The empaths I'm talking to will understand that when somebody is around them, you have a physical response to that. So this is going to normalize. We're going to finally understand that we are all deeply intuitive people, even our animals, so I shouldn't say people, but beings. We're deeply intuitive beings. We naturally have knowledge from other lifetimes. We have it in our DNA. Half of our programming is some of the harder end of that learning stuff stuck in our DNA, and some of it is the magic that we're reaching back for. So I hear people talk about Akashic records or your DNA or past lives. There's a lot of different versions that you could investigate, whereas I believe you should spend your energy on moving forward into the future, but accessing that, knowing that you have ancestors behind you who will support you energetically, knowing that at least some point in your lifelines you have been loved, Reach for that feeling. You have loved somebody, you have been successful. It's somewhere in your imprint. All of these beautiful, magical celebration spaces are already in you and surrounding you in your aura with your ancestors and your guides. So when you feel like you need a little bit more, just open what we would call the imagination. Open that intuition and just reach for something waiting to be offered to you. And your intuition increases, your good fortune increases, because when you're following your intuition, you're making choices that are to your highest advantage. So you start to make choices to turn left or right. That's when you get the job, or meet the person, or find the food source that solves something in your body, or something that you just find out you love to do. And when we are following our intuition, when we're having our energy lift, when we're engaged in things that bring us joy, that increases our intuition. So that's what I mean about spending your energy. Don't spend your energy, well, I'm not telling you what to do, but rather than spend your energy in the negative, spend your energy in that manifestation, in that celebration. Tell your body stories about how strong it is and how successful you are to still be here. Tell your body stories about how beautiful you are as a human being, and leave the energy of that criticism that we've been taught that stops us doing so many things. It keeps us in some kind of fear prison instead of living life and having that energy spent on joy. If you want to spend time thinking about whether your arm is long enough or short enough, that's hours of a year spent not reading, not talking, not laughing, not playing. And this is a lot about the new energy that's coming in. This is a lot about how the events of the year are going to be based on what we are manifesting. And when we manifest an ending, even if it's a difficult ending, it is important that we center, do your grounding, do your energy contemplations and your meditations, so that you move through without being affected by what can be more of an external manifestation of the fears that we're putting down, and often not real. When you disengage in the negative events, the media images, the belief that something is bad, even if it looks difficult, your energy settles and you are still able to stay in your space to do your manifestation and to move forward. Trust that the shifts and the changes in your life and the world will be for the higher good. I truly believe that because this is a journey that we have all joined together at this exact time and space, that we have the skills already in us to move forward for this next 20, 30, 100 years, however long we want to stick around individually. And the people who will follow and the society that will be following us. It feels magical. My heart lifts and I'm very excited about it. And this piece, when I think about the last 5 years and everything that we have been asked to put down, was so that we can manifest the life that we're interested in, so that we can make the choices that will bring us joy and happiness. And now feels like that turning point where you finally get to see what's available. And if you don't like it, change it. Change your belief system about what you deserve and what you would like to have. Spend your energy on you. And you will find that 2020 will be such a beautiful, incredible year. And we are going to move forward in our best versions. Talk to you soon.